Spenser Confidential is one of the latest movies to hit Netflix over the weekend. And this is like the fifth time, I believe, that Peter Berg and Mark Whalberg are working together after Lone Survivor, Deepwater Horizon, Mile 22, and Patriots Day. Out of the four that I just mentioned, I've only seen Deepwater Horizon and Mile 22. Deepwater Horizon I was a really big fan of, and Mile 22 I just didn't really like where it was going. So going into Spenser Confidential, I was a little split on how I would feel about this movie considering their track record. And I will say that I do love this movie a bit more than Mile 22 after watching it. This movie doesn't do anything a lot groundbreaking or special that this genre hasn't done before, which leads to this movie being pretty by the numbers. Everything that you think will happen. However, I do think this movie is saved by its cast. Mark Whalberg and Winston Duke do play off each other very well and make for some of the best scenes in the movie. But once you get past the likable characters, there's not really that much to love about this movie. First off, the fight scenes are weirdly spaced out evenly throughout the movie. It's like every 10 or 20 minutes go by and there would be a mandated fight scene that would have to happen. And something weirder is that the setup for the fight scenes are always the same. It would be Mark Whalberg walking to a place, getting surrounded by a bunch of guys, and then just a fight scene ensues. And with the action, it's not the greatest. It's passable. Doesn't do anything new. It's just action you've seen before, but it's still enjoyable to watch. Another thing I just want to point out is I think part of the appeal for this movie is that Post Malone makes his acting debut in this movie, and it's actually kind of odd because he actually does an alright job in it. I mean, he doesn't have the biggest role in the movie, but he has a role that is relevant enough to show off a little bit of his acting chops, and I think he actually does a pretty good job of what he's given. But overall, there's really not much to say about this movie personally. It's just a by the numbers, enjoyable action movie. I think this movie could have been a little bit better if it went through a few more rewrites, because it has some very likable characters that play off each other very well, but it's surrounded by this very predictable and by the numbers plot. So I'm going to give Spenser Confidential a 5.7 out of 10. That number might be a little bit higher than what you thought it would have been. But even with all the flaws, this is a very watchable movie that I think a lot of people on Netflix will probably enjoy. And I found myself entertained as well, and I really would like to see a sequel where they expand upon these characters and maybe come up with a better story and some more inventive fight scenes. But that's pretty much it. I was expecting to review another movie this weekend, The Way Back, but it just wasn't playing in the theater around me for some reason. So I didn't get a chance to watch that movie, but I might have another review coming out this week for Guns Akimbo, which has gotten a lot of controversy around it because of the director, but gonna check it out because it looks pretty fun, and that might come up sometime this week or the week after. But with that said, check out Spenser Confidential for yourself and let me know what you thought about it. Click that like button and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.